Hello, I'm Sofia Toro, and I'm the Vice Provost for Enrollment Management at Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. I went to Woodbury as a freshman. I started here, quickly said, I want business. This is my major, this is my path. And as a first generation student, it was really important for my family and I for me to go to college. No one else had been to college, and my dad said, you have to go directly into a four-year university. So learning from that really quickly on and having phenomenal business faculty here at Woodbury and later on at Pepperdine, I knew that networking was really powerful. I had to quickly meet people, advocate for myself. Being first generation, I was learning a lot of it, and I got a lot of that support here at Woodbury University. A great way for me to give back is going back through my journey and saying, how do you reinvent yourself? How do you put yourself out there? And I use different tools. I use LinkedIn. I use networking. This is an opportunity for you to go in and tell your story, but also create that path for yourself. So I always tell my alumni, don't ask for a job. You never ask for a job. It always falls in your laps. What you do want to ask for is an informational interview to learn about the company, the position, and how that individual has gone to their role. So a lot of what I recommend, 15-minute coffee chat, 30-minute Zoom or Teams interview to really get to know that executive or that person in that role. Get to know their story. Why did they choose that role? And then really putting yourself in their shoes to say, is this something that I can do? Because one of the things that I always mention to my students and alumni are you will be in your career for 40 to 60 years. You can't do this day in and day out for someone else. You can't do it for your parents. You can't do it for your significant other. You have to do it for yourself. So you have to get in there and say, okay, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a business person, a CEO, a venture capitalist, whatever that role is, and interview people. You might get an internship, right? Exposure to this position. And that's one of the key things as a student in college and as you explore, your path. Let me do an internship. Let me try, a lot of programs nowadays require, a 60, 90-day internship or an amount of hours that you're in that role. It's a very competitive market, any field. You have to have that exposure, build out your network, right? So you have people that can give you that experience. It'll just make you more competitive. So seeking out an internship for sure. Reach out to folks. I know it's a little weird. It might feel like, oh, I'm not asking for a real recommendation, but these are recommendations from colleagues, from bosses, from people that you've worked with. And ask for a recommendation. This is your digital resume that will continue to develop as you get experience, as you go into a new role. and then you build your network. You don't know who can open that door for you. So, some of the people that you want in your network would include people that are valuable and know you. They develop, they grow. So, your colleagues in your programs in college, in grad school, in professional school are vital to this network. You all start right on the same level, and then you all grow and develop. Imagine how many doors can be open in the future. You don't know who will be, the CEO, the venture capitalist, the hiring manager at a lot of these companies. So I want to always have my colleagues and my students as part of my network. Look, CEOs, presidents, provosts are also a great part of your network. And working in higher education, they are accessible. They walk around, they know you. Another important part are, any of the hiring managers, right? HR, being able to reach back out, do some of the traditional networking, send a thank you note. These are things that are getting lost. And look, I'm coming from interviewing over 25 candidates for several roles. I got maybe three thank you emails. That's a big flag for me. It's a simple gesture. And I might be a little old school with that, but a simple thank you. If it's an email, if handwritten, you don't see that anymore, but I've received some. It's the small gestures of that goes a long way. And with networking, you can count on that person. Or if you're looking to hire someone, you can reach out to individuals, and you never know who will be there, who knows who can open a door. Once you have landed your job, those 30, 60, 90 days are important um, to not only show what you're able to do, but be able to make an impact immediately. Learn, right? Observe, learn, hear what's working, what's not working, and how you can make that impact. Bring in ideas. Critical thinking is huge. Problem solving. There's a generation right now that it's quick to just swipe or be able to disengage, but you need to be able to be ready to solve issues, problems, challenges. Being in your role, you have to be able to problem solve, be solution minded, be able to make an impact immediately in any new role. You never stop networking. Once you get into your field and you land the ideal job, you continue to network. You continue to keep your resume updated, keep your LinkedIn updated. And as you learn and meet new people, you network with them, right? You continue to develop your skills. You have to stay up to date with training, certificates. If you need more education, plan it out so that you know what's that ideal role, and you reverse engineer what will it take me to get there? What type of education? What credentials do I need? Well, software changes. And if you've been out of the market for 10, 15 plus years, you have to stay on top of those changes and that technology and adapt to that software, because the new companies and these new roles will require you to know that. Certifications, any type of licensing that you might need in your roles, and that you continue to network with your colleagues, even the new students graduating, right? And I just love giving back. I love giving that advice to students to be able to connect with us. We're already in the fields. We're in positions that you might aspire to be in, but we can also open doors. My last piece of advice is be genuine. People can see right through it. I have had a board of trustees tell me, we trust you. We value your feedback, your expertise. Open up and say, hey, did you know that I had a position? Or you had that experience that I've been looking for? Or hey, I know someone at that company that you were interested in. Post with intent. Make sure that you are updating your social media accounts or LinkedIn accounts with intention. You do just enough to build your brand, and that will come with time and with just experience. I'm an extrovert and I love people. That's my water. I love being around people. I love being around my students. But it could also be draining for some people. For an introvert, it's hard to do the networking. So you have to find that happy medium where you're comfortable, but you know that you're doing it for yourself, for your career, for your growth and development.